Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening today. What is animal chiropractic? You know, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on what it is. Why should I take my dog to an animal chiropractor? Why should I take my horse to an animal chiropractor? The reason, the short answer, because they have a spine and a nervous system. Nervous system controls everything in the body. It controls all the functions of your animal's body. It controls how they move, how they digest their food. But it controls a lot of other things too, and I know as we're training our athletes, our dogs and our horses, we see muscle imbalances sometimes. Sometimes it's from the right side to the left, sometimes it's from the front to the back. And we can do exercises and we do go for walks, and we, you know, depending on the level of your dog, there's vests that you can wear, and on your horses, you know, we ride more and we do certain exercises for certain things. Well, what we find with animal chiropractic is that it improves the flow of nervous energy to a muscle. And that is huge, because what we know for a fact is that there's two ways for a muscle to get smaller or to not develop properly. Those two ways are lack of use or lack of innervation. Now, when your dog or horse moves, we also know it takes every muscle, every ligament, every tendon, every joint, and every bone in their body for your dog to take one step. So, if you have a dog with weak muscles in the front end, weak muscles in the back end, even though you're trying to get him to develop these muscles, and these exercise programs that you've developed with your dog training, or, you know, that you developed by watching the YouTube video, I don't care how, but they're not responding evenly. You know, the front end's getting stronger than the back end. The back end, the right leg in the back end is stronger than the left leg. We know it's not lack of use, because it takes every muscle for your dog to walk. So that's when you need to find an ABC certified chiropractor. Find somebody that understands how the nervous system controls muscles. Find somebody that can remove the nervous system interference from your animal's body and help that body perform at the level that it's supposed to be, the level that it was bred for. If you have a dog that was bred for high-level competition, but you're not able to get that competition out of it, why? Why? Is it your training, or is it the dog can't respond because his nervous system isn't working right? You know, will it show up on an X-ray? Not necessarily. I can find vertebral subluxations on an X-ray. A lot of people can't, but I also know that I can adjust dogs, remove vertebral subluxation when their X-rays look normal. So, an animal chiropractor's biggest tools are right at the end of their wrists, their hands, well-trained hands. Plus, most animal chiropractors will use their eyes to detect movement, right? They're going to watch your dog come in. They're going to see how he responds to different things. You know what? A lot of dogs that come in to see me, they'll come in, and they won't jump on the bail. We'll have to help them up on the bail. Then after their adjustment, we let them down. We ask them to come up on the bale. Guess what? Whoop, right up on the bale. They jump up on the bale. What's the difference? We restored the nervous system. We restored the ability of the full range of motion in the back end of that dog. Now we can jump. All right. Those muscles are going to develop faster. They're going to develop better. So, if you're having problems developing muscles in your animals, for whatever reason, it could be an animal that's getting older and starting to lose muscle tone, starting to lose muscle mass. It could be a young animal. They definitely need to see an animal chiropractor so that those muscles can function at the greatest ability, at their full capacity. All right. So, how do we bring the best out of our animals? Regular, routine chiropractic adjustments, which allows the nervous system to function at 100% and allows the body to heal from above down, inside out. But not only to heal from above down, inside out, but to develop from above down, inside out. To develop the way it should to its fullest potential. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is Animal Chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the #1 hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
And that's why chiropractic helped me be happier, because I was really grappling with that problem, you know? I mean, I might get a little upset saying this, but I'm really tired of pushing the plunger on the Rimadyl dogs, you know? Like, I really want to never have to do that again. And I've done it too many times. Like, it's just not okay.
Yeah, the adverse side effects, we need to look at those, I think.
I think we do, and I think we need to, I mean, I grapple with the ethical aspects of us prescribing something that has known side effects, that you might lose your dog because of it. you know? And there's so many aspects of that I grapple with in veterinary medicine, you know, the autoimmune diseases and, you know, the liver's like on fire. Oh, why is that? Oh, because like 3 months ago, the dog got 6 vaccines in one day or something mysterious, like, oh, we don't know what it is. Yeah, you kind of do, you know?
Yeah, we do. And you know, but we don't want to, you know, we don't want to admit it. And I know it happens in veterinary medicine. I happen to have a vaccine injured child, and when he was 21, a doctor said, why would you not want to give him another vaccine? So we had a discussion, and he called me 3 days later, this medical doctor did, and he said, I'm going to be quite honest with you, that in 22 years of practice, I had never read a vaccine package insert. And so you made me go read the vaccine package insert. I now agree with you, and I would never give a vaccine injured, or even if he's not vaccine injured, but we know he has seizures, I would never give somebody that has seizures this vaccine. And I was like, thank you. But the first part of that conversation was amazing to me, that I had never read a vaccine package insert. And I'm like, wow, I wonder how many of our colleagues are that way. Have you actually read the package insert? You know?
Well, what about all these neonicotinoid flea and tick products that we're using? That actually now, because the seizures are so severe or so common or whatever, they had to relabel the product. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not mysterious. Some of these things are not mysterious. Like, we gave the dog 4 vaccines. It's a 6-pound Maltese or something. And now it's on NexGard, and now it's got seizures. Well, that's not mysterious. That's a drug reaction.
Right.
You know? And yeah. And you know, it is, and it's a drug reaction, and we should have known about it. And you know, whatever happened right here, this is what we need.
Yeah, more
hands, energy. Like, maybe people get all weird about energy, but that's what it is. That's what everything is, right?
Yep.
And like, no negative side effects. Like, there's no negative side effects to chiropractic ever. If you do it right, if you go to the training and you get the training and you are thoughtful in how you're approaching it and you are present with what you're doing, then you can cause no harm. And that's, when I had my mobile practice, I called it ahimsa, which is a Sanskrit word for do no harm. It's their concept, do no harm. And, you know, that's what Hippocrates said. That's what we're supposed to be doing, you know? And yeah, so chiropractic does that.
Do no harm. And so here's one of my questions to my fellow chiropractors when they see an animal and the owner says, well, you know, maybe I don't know if I want to try chiropractic or not. Let's go ahead and try some drugs. So we know we have a subluxation in the body that's causing nervous system interference, that's causing cells to not function properly. All right? Because you can feel it, you can see it, you can see all this lack of movement in the spine, and we know that's not correct, and we have all this going on, and you let that animal go home without adjusting it. Have we, first off, done no harm? So when we know what we know as animal chiropractors, it changes everything.
It changes everything. Yeah.
Changes everything. Because when we didn't know about spinal movement, because there's a lot of our colleagues that don't know about above, down, inside, out.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Concept.
If you don't go, we didn't learn that in vet school.
No.
We didn't learn above, down, inside, out. We didn't learn. I mean, let's face it. There's two sentences on the dura mater in the canine anatomy book that we all studied in vet school. 2 sentences. That's all it talks about, the dura mater. But yet we know that dural torque is huge. It's on the nervous system. It affects everything an animal does that has it. We know that the weight of a feather decreases nerve transmission, alters communication between the brain and the body. So if we don't remove that dural torque, then that animal can do one thing. And he can continue to slide. Now we can maybe stop his slide with some pharmaceutical intervention, but he's still going down the downhill slide.
Well, you can relieve pain temporarily with the Rimadyl, and if that's, that is a good goal, right?
Right.
But it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't make the dog better. It just, decreases pain. So you have, and I think pain is very under-recognized by owners and even veterinarians because the animals hide it so well.
Right.
All these animals that are pacing around in the middle of the night, they're painful. They can't sleep. I mean, that's the biggest thing when I have people do chiropractic, especially on the older pets. I'm like, your pet is probably going to go home and it's going to sleep hard. It's going to sleep hard because it's finally not painful. And then the next time they come back for their second adjustment, they're like, yeah, she went home and she just slept. She slept through the night. It was great. We slept because she slept, and and literally it's only your hands and your mindset and your knowledge. Of course, I think it's really important to be trained in how to do this, and it does take practice. But it's so stunning. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen an animal and I'm like, okay, this animal's like really broken. Like it's so broken in so many ways that it's mind-boggling, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do what I was trained to do in school. School being chiropractic. I'm just gonna go through this animal and I'm going to, look for lack of motion, and I'm going to, figure out which way I need to adjust this, and I'm going to adjust this animal. And I'm just going to be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, And then people tell me the animal is better, and I'm like, alrighty then, I guess it does work, because we're so trained to be so skeptical about something as seemingly simple as a hands-on adjustment, the magnitude of its efficacy is not measurable really.
Right.
And does one adjustment? Yeah, one adjustment does a lot. And do they need more than one adjustment? Yes, they do. And some of them you're not going to completely fix all the way, right? But you can enhance quality of life so much by helping them, not pee the bed and getting them off of the phenylpropanolamine, which causes, other side effects that we know about.
Right.
And, so yeah.
And then, and you said practice, and I think we need to practice, but also learning, knowing, having people point things out to us, I think is important. We have a student lab, and as you know, we bring dogs in. We adjusted. Now, the week you were here, we had a lot of repeat customers. This last weekend, we had somebody that couldn't make it. And so, of course, then we have to open it up because our policy is that every lab, every doctor here gets to adjust at least 2 dogs, sometimes more. So when you were here, we had lab 3 times, I think. You adjusted a minimum of 6 dogs.
I think so, yeah.
Minimum, maybe more. So anyway, we had some new dogs here this weekend. So we had a student on this dog. They're all doing their setups and it's time to adjust. So they get to adjust and we of course watch and supervise a little bit, but not much. And the lady says, oh, by the way, if this dog isn't better, she's going to sleep tomorrow. And I don't mean to sleep hard all day tomorrow. I mean, it is, you are the last ditch effort for this dog to have an extended life. And the student looked at me and said, what do I do? Now, I could have jumped in there and adjusted that dog, but that would not have been any good for her confidence. So I said, do what you do. So she adjusted the dog. The dog got up and walked out, and the owner said, oh, that's better than she's lived in years.
Yeah.
And then we got an email on Tuesday and said, thank you so much for the new dog. Or not Tuesday, Saturday. Thank you so much for the new dog. I will be in Tuesday for the second adjustment.
Nice.
So, and then now that student is going to be able to take that home to her clinic and hopefully help that many more animals. Because you have to have confidence in, you can have confidence in chiropractic, but not confidence in your ability to adjust, and it doesn't get done. You have to have confidence in chiropractic and your ability to deliver it. And sometimes that comes with time, and sometimes it comes with education.
Well, and I think it really comes with trust, like trusting the process, trusting the technique, because I can tell you that even when I doubt myself, it still works. I just literally, I can't, it's a lot of times I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that could adjust this dog. Maybe, gosh, I wish Dr. O was here. He could adjust it or whatever. And I'm just like, no, okay, I'm in California. That's not happening. I'm just going to adjust this dog. I'm just going to do my best, right? That's what I try. You try to do your best every day and just do your best. I'm just going to do what I was taught. I'm just going to be here with this dog and treat this dog. And it's like a can't fail thing. Right. It's so rewarding. It really is. It really is. And the thing, getting people to do it and not just take the Rimadyl can be a little challenging. Especially when we're busy and we're standing out in the parking lot baking, or you're like going blind because it's so sunny out there and you just came out from outside and your eyes are watering. Don't have time to try to really explain it, but it's so much better. It's so much better. It
is. So, above, down, inside out wins every time.
That's the way it is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And
it's been a pleasure.
It is. It's been a pleasure. And until next time, have a great day. And everybody tune in. Remember, you can listen to us anywhere podcasts are heard. And we'll talk to you again. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. O. Bye.
Bye.
I said, I adjusted him. I said, adjusted his atlas and I adjusted hip. So they left. 2 days later, she called my office and she said, can we come back? Can I bring Floyd back? So Floyd comes back. And Floyd was kind of hopping around a little bit. And she said, I don't know what you did, but Floyd started drinking, started eating. So I checked Floyd one more time. Definitely wasn't like it was the first time. Adjusted one more time, never saw Floyd again because Floyd lived and moved on. And that patient, she actually stopped chiropractic care. It is what it is. But I tell that story because when that happened to me, it rocked me. And I brought that story into some of my teaching for my humans. And I said, you know what's interesting? Some of you are going to go back and look at your x-rays here today, and you're going to question me, and you're going to question the validity of chiropractic. You're going to question, you're still not sure. But I said, you know what's powerful about that cat? Didn't have to believe me. All it did was have to receive it, and it responded beautifully. And I said, the difference between the animal and the human is the human, you guys overthink it and you stop yourself from healing because you have beliefs, limiting beliefs. You sabotage your own transformation process so many of the times. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you could get yourself out of the way and remove that interference, your body is going to heal beautifully from this, whatever you got going on coming in here today. And I would tell my human patients that. And it was powerful. Because many of them look me in the eyes. I look them in the eyes. I said, listen, my question isn't if you're going to heal. My question is, how fast? Because everything takes time. And there's limiting factors in nature. Like we have to deal with them. Laws of nature, we are dealing with things. But the biggest factor is going to be you. Your ability to be committed to this. Your ability to follow through. So I say that to you, Bill, because when we met, I was already like very moved in my life by the transformation of an animal. I had a couple. I had another one with asthma who healed beautifully. I had a patient who had show dogs, and she even brought a couple. And those are like, that's big. That's a different world for me. I'm like, I don't know anything about that world, but they traveled the country showing dogs. Checked one of their dogs once. And anyway, long story short, Bill, yeah, when you came in and we met, I was like, yes, there's something to this. I don't know what you're doing, but if we can take this and make this something in the world, in the industry, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of animals to be helped. And we got some work to do. So if I can help you in any way, I just remember thinking that. So that's how we met. And here we are a couple years later now, and we're still talking about this stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, we did some numbers. We crunched some numbers. I know you like numbers. And we looked at 12% of the dog population.
Yeah.
And what I could do comfortable. I mean, not just a couple hours a day, but if I was to go and work 8 hours a day and adjust dogs, high volume practice, just crank them out. We need 1,200 certified chiropractors tomorrow to get 12% of the dogs in the country, in the US. That's not worldwide, that's just in the country. We need, I think, 1,900 certified chiropractors that only work on horses to get 12% of the horses in the country. And then, what's near and dear to us is the food chain and getting, antibiotics out of our food and getting hormones out of our food and getting healthier food into your patients. And just to do the chickens, 12% of the chickens, we need 2,200 chicken chiropractors. Just to do 12% of the and they would make a good living. I mean, I'm not saying 12% of the chickens would take 2,200 chiropractors. That's a lot of chiropractors. A lot. To get 12%. And that's about where we are in people right now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if we could even just get to that, what would that do to the knowledge of chiropractic for both animals and people? We talked about the other day, about the book. Yes, it's really a thing, because we still get that question. Every day somebody says, animal chiropractic, is that a thing? And I mean, I'm sure you had heard that in practice. I know chiropractic is good for my back. It's good for this, but what I got ain't chiropractic, doc. It's hormonal, or it's GI. Did you hear that?
Absolutely. I even heard it's not a chiropractic issue. It's a orthopedic issue because it's more serious.
Oh, yes.
It's beyond what you could do in your scope. Really?
Or it's neurological.
Or neurological. I'm like, oh, beautiful, perfect.
Bring that
my
one
neurologist. I'm seeing my neurologist. I'm seeing my orthopod. I'm seeing my cardiologist. I'm seeing my endocrinologist. I'm seeing my GP. And I'm like, and what are they going to do for you, ma'am? What have they done for you? Have they run a bunch of tests? I bet. Have they sent you to another specialist for another set of tests? I bet. Have they given you something to treat that? I bet. Has it went away? Have you corrected the issue? Have they found the cause? I bet not. And the reality was, when people really paused and thought about it, I said, do you see the game? Do you see what's happening? You're a part of it. And until you decide you're not going to be a participant any longer, you'll continue to be in that system. And so we had to extract people from that system, which is why in my practice and in so many other docs that I work with, we focus so heavily on communication, on leadership, because as you do, doc, with your folks, you educate them. That's the first step. There's two things that happen every time a patient comes in for an adjustment. We educate and we adjust. That's it. Chiropractor's primary job is educate and adjust, educate and adjust, educate and adjust. And most docs, some docs don't do any education or very little, and some are okay at adjusting. You need to be excellent at both, at educating and adjusting.
You bet.
And that needs to be part of the patient experience. I always tell my patients, listen, you hire us for extra expertise, you pay us for accountability. I tell them, listen, you can't afford the adjustments because they're priceless.
Yeah.
How much is the adjustment? I mean, we charge what we charge, call it $65 or whatever for an standard adjustment. We don't charge. I tell my docs, I said, listen, tell them you don't charge for the adjustments. You charge them for accountability. You can't pay for the adjustment because they can't afford it because it's priceless.
Right. It replaces all that stuff.
They hire you, they pay you for continuing education.
Yeah.
Every time they walk in your doors, they get a newsletter, they see the videos, they hear a little tick, right? At tableside. That's what you pay me for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Get educated.
Because the price, the value of the adjustment, how do you quantify that bill? How do you quantify a cat dragging its legs around, cannot drink, cannot eat, will not bowel move, is dying, and I set the atlas and I adjust the pelvis and I walk away, and 2 days later I adjust it one more time and they come back and the cat goes on to live for another few years. Like, what is that worth?
It's priceless. Our time is running out. I think we went over. But thank you so much, as always. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Dr. Peter. And until next time.
Thank you, Dr. Bill.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.